For, well, decades, the fight against cancer has been all about external weapons, right? Things like radiation and chemical poisons. But what if the ultimate weapon wasn't something we had to invent in a lab? What if it was already inside of you, just waiting to be activated? Today, we're diving into one of the most revolutionary treatments in modern medicine, immunotherapy. And really, this is the whole idea in a nutshell. It's a complete flip in how we think about this. It's not about poisoning the cancer directly, but about empowering your own body to see the cancer and, destroy it. So how in the world does this new weapon actually work? To get it, you kind of have to forget everything you thought you knew about fighting cancer. This isn't about attacking the disease head-on. It's about fundamentally changing the entire battlefield.
Okay, so here's the textbook definition. At its core, immunotherapy isn't the weapon itself. Think of it more like a trainer. It's what teaches your immune system, your body's own personal defense force, how to hunt down and take out cancer cells that it was completely ignoring before.
And this comparison just lays it all out, doesn't it? Chemotherapy is kind of like a carpet bombing campaign. It just attacks all the fast-growing cells, which, includes cancer, but also healthy stuff like hair follicles. Immunotherapy, on the other hand, is like training special forces. It unleashes your body's own elite cells to go after a very specific target.
And because of that super targeted approach, the results can be an absolute game changer. We're not just talking about shrinking tumors for a little while, we're talking about achieving long-lasting, really durable remissions.
And the benefits are just huge. We're talking about a much more precise attack that leaves healthy tissue alone, which often means a way better quality of life. It's extending survival for people with really advanced disease. And for cancers that we once thought were basically untreatable, it's offering brand new hope.
But honestly, this might be the most incredible part. This idea of immunological memory. This is basically the holy grail of cancer treatment. It's like your body gets a vaccine against its own cancer. Your immune system learns to recognize the bad guys, and it just stays vigilant, ready to pounce if they ever try to come back, even years down the road.
Now I know what you're thinking. It sounds almost too good to be true, Resonant? A powerful, precise, long-lasting treatment. So, what's the catch?
Well, the catch is that immunotherapy is very much a double-edged sword. Unleashing the immune system is an incredibly powerful thing to do, but it's also really risky if that power isn't controlled just right. And here's the central paradox of the whole thing. The very thing that makes it so amazing, a supercharged, revved-up immune system, is also the source of its very unique side effects. Sometimes that newly activated army can get a little overzealous.
And there's a specific name for this: immune-related adverse events, or IRAS for short. This is what happens when the immune system, while it's hunting for cancer, starts causing some collateral damage and starts attacking healthy parts of the body by mistake.
So let's break down what these side effects actually look like, because they are very different from what you'd expect with something like chemotherapy.
First up, you have the most common stuff. A lot of patients get symptoms that feel like a really persistent flu, especially in extreme, deep fatigue. And look, while that sounds pretty miserable, doctors often see it as a good sign. It's proof that the immune system is awake, it's active, and it's getting to work.
But the side effects aren't always just feeling like you have the flu. The next category is a bit more serious. This is when the immune system starts to target specific healthy organs, and that causes inflammation. So doctors are always on the lookout for anything that ends in itis, which just means inflammation of. You can get colitis, which is in the colon, or pneumonitis in the lungs. You can even have issues where it attacks glands like the thyroid. These are the kinds of IRAEs that medical teams have to watch for and manage very carefully.
Now, for some of the most powerful immunotherapies out there, like something called CAR T-cell therapy, where they literally engineer a patient's own immune cells in a lab to fight cancer, there's a very specific and intense reaction that doctors watch for. They sometimes call it the storm. So, what's happening here is, ironically, a sign of overwhelming success. You've got millions of these engineered T-cells, the soldiers of the immune system, all attacking the cancer at once. In the process, they release this massive flood of inflammatory chemicals called cytokines, which basically sends the body into a state of shock, kind of like a super severe infection. But, and this is the crucial part, doctors have ways to intervene. They can calm the storm while still letting the T-cells do their life-saving work.
So as you can see, it all comes down to this incredibly delicate balancing act, unleashing the full, raw power of the immune system to go after cancer, while at the same time protecting the rest of the body from that exact same power.
And this table just lays out those trade-offs so clearly. With immunotherapy, hair loss is rare, which is a massive plus, but fatigue, very, very common. And organ inflammation, something that's rare with chemo, becomes a key risk to keep an eye on. And check out the duration, too. These side effects can pop up weeks or even months after the treatment is over. And this really brings us to the single most important message in all of this. Because these side effects are so unique and can be unpredictable, constant and open communication with your medical team is absolutely vital. Catching these things early is the whole key to managing them safely and effectively. So, as we continue to learn how to master this incredible power we all have inside us, we're left with a pretty profound question. We've spent 100 years developing all these external weapons, but maybe, just maybe, the real future of this fight has been waiting inside our own bodies all along.